Listen, what do you mean someone broke into the museum? Ryder asked the mayor. I heard an alarm go off while I was watering my tulips, Mayor Goodway explained. I turned to the museum and saw a person entering the museum through a shattered window on the east side. Okay, we're on it. Don't interact because they could be dangerous, Ryder said. He hung up the call and looked over at Chase. We don't have enough time to call the other pups, so it's up to you and me, Chase. These paws uphold the law, Chase exclaimed as they both entered their vehicles. As they drove towards the museum, they noticed the mayor waving at them. They parked their vehicles in front of the museum entrance and jumped out to greet the mayor. Mayor Goodway, from where did they enter from? From this window on the east side of the museum, Mayor Goodway explained. They all ran over to the window, and sure enough, the middle window was shattered. Chase examined the shards of glass on the ground. Seems to me that they used a rock to break the window, Chase said. Once the window was broken, they removed all the extra pieces of glass and entered the building. That's why some of the pieces were missing. Chase entered the building and through the window. Chase was right. A rock laid on the ground, surrounded by broken glass. We're going to prevent him from exiting from the entrance, Ryder whispered to Chase from outside. Chase nodded and Ryder and the mayor were gone. Chase made his way forward, cautious of the glass. Luckily, he had his spy boots on, but that won't stop the glass from creating sound if stepped on. He looked outside. It had stopped raining, but the sun was beginning to set. He turned his flashlight on and looked around. He noticed that some display boxes were broken and some slots were empty. One empty slot had a label that read, "The Ancient Blue Diamond Necklace, 200 years old." Chase kept looking around for the thief. He walked around the museum quietly. All the lights were off except for the red emergency lights. The light shone on the white marble column that held up the dome room. The dome displayed images of how the town originally looked back when Mayor Goodway's ancestor, Grover Goodway, was still mayor. The interior walls were painted white. The large crystal chandelier that was hanging from the ceiling reflected the red light. Some of the jewelry that remained were shining due to the light. Some stairs covered by a red carpet against the far wall led up to the second story. If Chase wasn't on a mission, he would just stand there and admire the building. This was his second time coming into the museum since it opened a couple of months ago. He planned on coming back eventually, once everything was back to normal. He noticed a light coming from the other room. He turned off his flashlight light and hid. He waited 10 seconds before looking out from behind the display case. The thief was making his way upstairs. Excellent, Chase thought. My plan is going just as planned. He has nowhere to go. He made his way to the stairs and went up to the second story. He noticed the thief, along with another thief, who must have entered from another window. He was taking another necklace off its display case and put it in a bag by his side. Stop, Chase called out. Stop in the name of the law. The thieves turned around to face the German Shepherd. They wore black shoes, black jeans, black hats, black hoodies, and black masks over their mouths. The one part of the thieves that the police pup could identify was that one had green eyes, Chase could tell was male, and the other had light blue eyes, female. The female thief grabbed a nearby flower vase and threw it at Chase. Chase dodged the vase, but the thieves were escaping through a window. There goes my plan going as planned, Chase thought. I talked too soon. Chase used his net to capture one of them, the male thief, but the other one got away. You'll also like 2. He walked over to the window. The robber had jumped on Chase's car before jumping off onto the ground. Ryder tried to stop her, but she pushed him out of the way. The thief started running. Chase didn't think she was going to get far, but a dark gray van with a red line going through the middle appeared out of nowhere and stopped in front of the robber. The robber opened the back door and threw the bag inside the van. Chase exited the museum from the front door just as the thieves stood at the back of the van, and she blew them a kiss and closed the van doors. The van sped off. Chase got in his car and turned on the engine and siren. "I'm going after them," Chase told Ryder. "I'm coming with you," Ryder said. "There's another robber tied up on the second stairs. You get that one before he breaks free and escapes." "I got the van," Chase clarified. Ryder thought about it for a quick second. Ryder knit his eyebrows in worry. "Okay, but please be careful, and if you need help, tell me," he said. "Of course, see you in a sec," Chase said, smiling as he sped off after the van. Ryder sighed. "I hope he'll be okay," he said softly as he and Mayor Goodway went inside the museum. They went upstairs and found the other thief, struggling to get out of Chase's net. Ryder and Mayor Goodway helped him to his feet but didn't untie him. "We got some questions for you," Ryder said. As they made their way back outside, Mayor Goodway looked around the messy museum. Broken glass and furniture littered the floor. She frowned at the mess. "What a mess," she said to herself. "Don't worry. This fellow right here is going to clean it all up first thing tomorrow morning, isn't that right?" Ryder smirked at the thief. The thief made an attempt to escape but failed. "Yes," he said softly. "Good," the mayor said. "Don't worry, it shouldn't take all day." As she said that, the dinosaur skeleton behind them came crashing down, creating more dust and breaking a drawer. "Scratch that," the mayor said. "It will take you all day." The thief gulped, somewhat pleasing the mayor and Ryder. 3. As they took the thief into City Hall, where he can't cause any more trouble, Ryder called Chase. "Hey, Chase," Ryder said. "How's it going with the car chase?" "Well, they were a bit ahead of me, but I'm catching up," Chase explained. "How about with the other guy? Did he get away?" "Nope," Ryder replied. "We got him in our custody. He won't be going anywhere." "That's great to hear," Chase said. Chase kept on driving after the van. They turned down a dirt road that went up the mountain. The van sped up, so Chase did as well. The van was surprisingly fast, despite not being a vehicle for the mountains. They made a lot of turns trying to shake the police pup, but they couldn't. Chase and Marshall used to drive on roads like these, when it was only them two and Ryder. When Ryder went to visit his parents and there weren't any missions to attend, Chase and Marshall would drive down the dirt roads in Jake's Mountains. They did it because it helped them practice driving better when the road is hard to drive on, and also because it was fun. This mountain, however, was not Jake's mountain. The robbers were getting tired of the German Shepherd. They thought of only one solution to their problem. The robber in the back opened the back door and dropped 2 cinder blocks onto the road. Chase tried to slow down but couldn't. "Oh no," Chase said. Before Ryder could ask what happened, Chase's cruiser crashed into the cinder blocks, sending Chase flying on top of the van. "Chase?" Ryder said. "Chase. Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine," Chase said through his pup tag instead of through the monitor. Ryder could still see Chase, but Chase couldn't see Ryder. "My car crashed into some cinder blocks. Because of my speed, the seatbelt broke and I flew on top of the van. I'm a bit dizzy, but other than that, I'm okay." Ryder sighed in relief, but his relief was short-lived. The thieves knew that Chase was on top of the van. The one in the passenger seat grabbed Chase by his collar. "That's a nice collar you got there," the robber said. Chase yelped and bit his hand. The robber yelled in pain. He took Chase's collar off. "You won't be needing this anymore." "What's he doing?" Ryder said. Hey, slow down, the robber told the driver. The driver did as he was told. He slowed down to 10 miles an hour. The guy in the passenger seat opened the door and dropped Chase out. Chase went tumbling down the mountainside. Chase! Ryder yelled. The robber in the passenger looked at the caller, somehow knowing that Ryder could see him. And don't try to follow us, he said. He put the collar facing up on the dashboard and crushed it with a hammer. Ryder's pup tag went static. Ryder extended his pup pad, pressed the button. Paw Patrol, to the lookout, he yelled. And please hurry. What's wrong? Mayor Goodway asked. Without looking at her, Ryder replied, Chase is missing. Without further explanation, he got onto his ATV and sped to the lookout as fast as he could. Continue to next part. Chapter 3. Skye, Rubble, and Marshall have returned from their mission. Where's Chase and Ryder? Rocky asked. They stayed behind to finish the mission, Marshall replied. What do we do till then? Asked Zuma. We have about a half hour before it gets dark. How about a game of hide and seek? Rubble suggested. In the dark? Skye asked. Rubble shrugged. Why not? Not it. Not it, everyone except Marshall exclaimed. Ah, rats, Marshall expressed. You said it too slow, Rocky teased. He ran to his pup house and took out the sock that they use for his nose. Rocky put it in Marshall's paw. Marshall sighed. I hate using the sock, Marshall said. Before he could put it on, their pup tags. Oh, thank God. Pups, it's time to go to sleep, Ryder said through the pup tag. Chase and I will be there shortly. 3. Okay, Ryder, the pups said in unison. What good pups, Ryder said. Well, I gotta go. I see Chase returning with Callie. Ryder hung up. I can't believe Chase took the job, despite his allergies, Rubble commented. I know, I would have done it so he wouldn't have to suffer, Skye said. I bet he would have done the same thing for us, Marshall added. But if I know Chase, he will never back down from a job. Especially if it means saving someone's life. Well, good night, everyone, Zuma asked. Good night, the other pups replied as they left for their pup houses. Rubble and Marshall fell asleep immediately. It took another 10 minutes for Rocky and Zuma to drift off. Skye, however, couldn't find herself falling asleep. She had Chase's police hat right next to her. This hat will give you courage and strength, Chase had said. She believed it 100%. She knew that it didn't have any magical powers or things like that, but the hat did give her strength. She remembered the first time she met Chase and how he saved her from a greyhound after losing her family. Ever since then, her heart has been glued to him. Everything about him made her feel warm inside. The way that he cared for everyone else. Despite being the strongest and most powerful of the pups, he was also the most gentle and most caring of them all. He could go from staying serious during missions to having fun in their free time. Whenever her eyes met his amber eyes, she couldn't help but smile. He can always lift her spirits when she is feeling down. Skye was remembering how she first met Chase when her pup tag went off. Paw Patrol, to the lookout. Ryder's voice said through the pup tag. Ryder needs us, Skye said. She noticed Rocky run past her, so she followed. She got into the elevator after Rocky, followed by Zuma, Rubble, and lastly Marshall, who caused a crash in the elevator after he slipped on a toy. The elevator shaft started going up. Where's Chase? Skye asked. Probably at the top with Ryder already, Rocky stated. They got into their uniforms. Marshall was wearing his EMT pup pack. Once they got to the top, they all jumped out of the elevator and landed in their spots, waiting for Chase to say his phrase, but the room stayed silent. All of the pups turned to Chase's spot, only to realize that his place was empty. They all looked at each other in confusion. Thank you for making it so fast, Ryder said. He was pacing back and forth. He couldn't find himself standing down. As you can probably tell, Chase is not here. That's because he's missing. This statement made the pups gasp. You'll also like 13. Chapter 3. How did that happen? Skye asked. After Chase returned to Katie's clinic with Callie, a siren went off, Ryder explained. Turned out some thieves had tried to rob the museum. Chase entered the building while I and Mayor Goodway waited outside. He was able to stop one of them, but the other thief was able to escape along with 2 others in a van. His voice faltered. And then Chase went after them. He was catching up to them, but then they... Ryder couldn't tell the pups what he witnessed. They what? Rubble asked. I can't say what I saw, Ryder said. But I saw it all through Chase's pup tag. Show us the video, then Marshall insisted. I can't let you guys see what. Show us the video. Marshall said, his voice a bit louder, which surprised the others as much as it did Marshall. I'm sorry, Ryder, Marshall said, softer this time. I just need to know what happened to my brother. Please show us the video. Okay, Marshall, Ryder said. He knew how much Marshall cared for Chase. They have been brothers for so long. They did everything together. If something was wrong with one of them, the other one was there to back them up. Any of you can turn around whenever you want. 2. Ryder put the video on the big screen. Hey, Chase, Ryder's voice said through the video. How's it going with the car chase? Well, they were a bit ahead of me, but I'm catching up, Chase said, smiling at the camera. They kept on watching the video. They watched as dirt appeared behind Chase's cruiser. They watched as Chase said, "Oh, no," and he disappeared from his cruiser. The video then transitioned from Chase's dashboard monitor to his pup tag. The pups gasped. They couldn't remove their eyes from the screen. They watched as Chase was grabbed. The robber took away his collar and dropped Chase down the side of the mountain. They watched as Chase was tumbling down the mountain. The robber showed his face, still covered with a mask and sunglasses, as he warned them about following them before he smashed Chase's pup tag. The screen then went dark. Ryder looked over the pups. They just stared at the black screen. They couldn't believe what they were watching. The atmosphere was so silent a needle could be heard if it was dropped. It stayed that way for roughly 5 minutes. Finally, Marshall broke the silence. How could this happen to Chase? Marshall asked. We need to go look for him. He wiped a tear off his cheek. Skye did so as well. She felt as if her heart was going to shatter. She couldn't believe that Chase, the pup that she had feelings for since day one, was gone. What can we do? She asked Ryder. We can't do much at the moment, I'm afraid, Ryder said. It's pretty dark outside. We have to wait till morning to do anything. What? Marshall said. My brother is out there all alone. We need to go save him. We will, but it won't do any good if we can't see him, Ryder reassured. We begin the search first thing in the morning. May I be excused? Skye asked, her eyes glued to the ground. Yes, you may, Ryder decided. I think it should be better if we all go to sleep. Skye didn't wait for the others. She went down the slide. Her pup house was at the bottom of the slide. She hopped onto her pup house and then jumped onto the ground. She entered her pup house and laid down on her bed. She held Chase's hat close to her chest. Streams of tears rolled down her cheeks. She wanted Chase to tell her everything was going to be okay. She knew Chase would insist she be happy, so that is what she did. She fell asleep, remembering how Chase and her first met. In her dream, she was back to the day she joined the Paw Patrol. Skye was in the woods when she heard a howl. It was still really early. She knew she had to run from it. She has been ever since the last she saw her parents, which was a week ago. She was tired of running. She was tired of being scared. She was tired of being alone. But she had no choice. She didn't know what to do. She just kept running. After what felt like forever, she ran into the edge of the cliff. She was about to fall off. At the bottom of the cliff, the sea hit against the rocks. She turned around to see if she was still being followed. After 20 seconds, something rustled in the bushes. A dog jumped out of the bushes. For the first time, under the full moon, she got a good glimpse at her persecutor. It was a large greyhound. It had red eyes and grey fur. It was big and tall. It had a cut over its right eye. The dog growled and jumped toward Skye. Before it touched her, another dog pushed the greyhound away. The other dog growled at the greyhound. The greyhound tried to attack again. But the other dog, a German shepherd, moved out of the way with tremendous speed. When the greyhound landed, the German shepherd grabbed it by the hind leg and dragged it away. When he let go, the greyhound immediately ran off. Once the greyhound left, the German shepherd turned around. When he stepped into the light, Skye was awestruck. The German shepherd appeared to be about a bit older than her. He had beautiful amber eyes, light and dark brown fur. He had pointed ears. She thought he was handsome. He started to come closer to Skye, which scared her. She was about to run for it as well when he started speaking. "You don't have to worry," he said. His voice was calm and soothing. "Nothing will hurt you anymore. I promise. You're safe now." She wanted to believe him, but she didn't feel safe. The German shepherd moved closer. "My name is Chase. What's yours?" S. "Skye," she said in a trembling voice. Chase smiled. "Come on, you look cold. Let's get you inside." When he said that, almost immediately she realized how cold and how tired she was. She tried to move, but she collapsed. Chase turned back, walked toward her, and put her on his back. Despite the cold, his fur was warm. He walked slowly toward a giant tower. He went through some sliding doors and put her down on a cushion near a fireplace. Chase sat down on a nearby cushion. Skye moved over and laid down right next to him. Next to him, she felt an instant feeling of protection. She also wanted to be with someone after being alone for a long time. Skye eventually fell asleep. She slept for a few hours and then woke up. Chase was sitting down next to her looking at the fireplace. He got up and walked away and came back a minute later with a bowl of food. He put the bowl right in front of her. Skye moved up to the bowl of food. She ate the food pretty fast. "Man, you are a hungry little pup, aren't you?" he said. Yeah, well, I haven't eaten in a while." "Well, you won't have to worry about that anymore. You are with the Paw Patrol." "The what?" "It's a team that helps protect this town." And are you like the leader? Chase chuckled. Second in command. The leader is a kid named Ryder. He'll help you. How about you? What are you going to do? Well, it's early in the morning. In a few minutes, I have to wake up the rest of the team. The other two are called Marshall and Ryder, of course. Marshall is a fire pup. How about all the other jobs? Well, right now, I do all the rest of the jobs. Swimming, construction, mountain, are all my jobs, but he turned to her. Hey, when I put you on my back, you seemed light enough. How well is your balance? 1. Pretty good. Are you scared of heights? No, not really. Why? Well, maybe you can join the Paw Patrol. Skye couldn't believe what she was hearing. She has always wanted to help others in need. You mean it? Of course, you seem like the right type of pup to do the flying jobs. Really? Yeah, so, are you in? Skye jumped around in excitement. Yes, yes, yes. I can't believe my dream of helping others is finally coming true. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She jumped onto Chase's back for the second time. Do you have any advice? You know, because I want to know something before I join and see the world, asked Skye. Chase thought about it for a second. Let's see. See, advice is sight, he thought aloud the first thing that came to mind. Well, here's something my mom told me a long time ago. She said many things will catch your sight, but only one will catch your heart. I can tell you more later on as we go. Skye thought about it. Okay, then. I guess I'm part of the Paw Patrol. 1. He took off his police hat and put it on her head. It was a bit too big, but she didn't mind. Well, let's go wake up the rest of the team. Okay, let's go, Skye said, still not off of Chase, but he didn't seem to mind. They went to wake up the team.